Oh, yeah, welcome in. It's Boston has entered the chat here on Nesson Nation. George Balekji, my main man,
Yes,
Travis
sir.
Thomas.
I always get so hyped when you start shows because you always do the wedding reception DJ.
Oh,
yeah.
I
Everybody
need all the
come out there.
bridesmaids on the dance floor. Yeah, yeah. Make some sound for the Thomases.
Cha-cha now, y'all.
Hey, you got to bring the hype. You got to dance.
You
That's
do
what
it.
we're doing this morning.
You do it every time, man. I love it.
This is Boston's Enter the Chat, the show where we take what you guys are putting in your group chat and bringing it in.
Oh.
This is a little...
That's not wedding reception.
I know, I was going to say, it's a little rock on.
We got the mosh pit out here.
We'll talk about the Bruins, them introducing Marco Sturm as the next head coach today. That'll be at 11 a.m. live on Nesson and on Nesson's YouTube page. We'll also get into what's trending. It's Tuesday, June 10th. Good morning, y'all.
Yes.
Let's get into it now for what's trending, Trav.
Cool.
Let's start with the Bruins press conference. So today at 11 a.m., the Bees introducing Marco Sturm as the 30th head coach in franchise history. Next chapter for the Bruins. This will be their third head coach since 2017. This is the hire that has to get it right.
Yeah.
And this is also a pivotal offseason for the Bees because, look, they hit reset at the trade deadline. You got the head coach. Now as we get ready for the draft and free agency is in July. First chapter in the book of getting back to contending.
Yeah, I want to see the tenor that Marco uses today. What I mean by that is, and it's probably going to be a mix of these two things that I'm saying. What I mean is he going to speak in terms of, hey, big picture, couple years from now type stuff? Or is he going to say, this season, we're going to do X, Y, and Z? My gut is we're going to hear both, okay? We're going to hear big picture, and we're also going to hear short-term goals. But I bring that up because I feel as though the Bruins right now are at a fork in the road. Is this a retooling that's going to take a few years to get to where we want to go? Or is this we're going to spend big money this offseason? We know the draft's coming up. We're looking for someone to help us right away. That's why I say, what's sort of the vibes? Where is he taking us here? So I'm going to be keying in on that. I remember when the news broke. We broke it right here, actually, on Boston Has Entered the Chat, that it was Marco Sturm, and we had Brick on. And we asked Brick, give us some sort of keys to building a culture or establishing an identity that Marco may be looking to do. And he said, well, 3 things you had to do in the modern day hockey where you can still tie into the Bruins brand and the history and everything we've come to know and love with this franchise is goaltending, defense, getting stronger down the middle, controlling center ice. So these are also almost like keywords, like I'm a computer today, where I'm listening for these things so I could key on what he's saying behind it. Judge Surratt kind of echoed the same thing when we asked, what can Marco Sturm do right away to make an impact day one once he gets in here and rolls up the sleeves? And he said, improve the defense. It doesn't take long in the NHL if you get it right to improve overnight. You're on the defensive side of the ice. So I'm going to be listening for these things today, hearing it from Marco, seeing the vision that he has, George, and then how he plans on implementing that.
What I'm excited to hear from him is how he takes and draws his experience at the AHL, where you have to do everything. You're the head coach, sure, but you're in charge of everything. Less resources. You have the coaching staff, but you have to have your hands on everything. GM, head coach, everything. Also, how he draws on his experience with the LA Kings, being in charge of the power play there. Learning, and that's a team themselves went through a rebuild and got back to the postseason in his final season as an assistant coach. Just what he can do to bring this team back into contending for a Stanley Cup, getting back into the playoffs, and being a serious team that makes some noise.
Right.
The power play was putrid last season for the Bruins.
Yeah.
Everything. They struggled with everything. They never got off on the right foot. They never got started. It started before the season even went underway, where the Bruins were dealing with issues. Okay, fresh slate, fresh, roster, along with all the vets you have, got younger. Now a fresh voice in the room. How does he implement that? And take a culture that's there, but improve on it and tap into the leaders he has in the dressing room, too. I think that's really important for Sturm as he gets started.
We've also seen teams sort of with this blueprint now of, top of mind, the most recent are the Capitals, where Ovechkin's getting older, right? They're the whole team was looking old. TJ Oshie just retired. And it's like, all right, what are we going to do here? They got young, fast, new coach, new goalie in there, and all of a sudden they were in the playoffs. They lost, but they turned around very quickly on the fly. I think there are other teams that have done that recently as well. If I'm the Bruins, I think there's a way to kind of do both. Like, we're talking about future and short term too. I think there's a way to win in the now and get back to the playoffs and get back to respectability in that way, but also still building long term what you're looking to do. Because you have Pasta, because you have Sway and other guys who are stars right now, you still need to win now too. This isn't like a punt and we'll figure it out in 5 years. No, you got to win now too. So Marco needs to address all these things. I think there's a lot of different expectations and a lot of different directions he could go with this franchise. And I'm curious today to at least get a glimpse into that.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. All right, let's, as we're talking about Marco Sturm getting introduced as the Bruins' next head coach, we had a Bruins legend on Unobstructed Views last night during the Red Sox game, Patrice Bergeron. And he was asked, hey, Stanley Cup Finals going down, who are you rooting for? Is your guy Brad in a new sweater, or is it Connor McDavid to get his first ring? Here's Patrice Bergeron's answer right here.
I said it was very weird to see him, wearing a Florida Panthers jersey. And it still is, but to be honest with you now, I'm really cheering for Brad. Because people are saying, are you cheering for Florida or Edmonton? I'm I'm cheering for Brad. I just want him to get it. He deserves it. I've been impressed with the way he's been playing throughout these playoffs. He's been an amazing addition. Obviously, he's one of the reasons why they're in the final.
And Patrice Bergeron, 100% right there. I mean, we saw Brad Marchand, not just the reason they got to the finals, how he was playing throughout the postseason. Has a game-winning goal in Game 2 in overtime. Had a goal before that. Had the first goal of the game in Game 3.
I think it was double overtime in the game winner he had. It's
just big moments. Yeah. 11 career goals in the Stanley Cup Finals now. Most by an active player. At his age, still playing, tying together that third line for the Panthers. Cool to hear Bergeron say, look, I'm cheering for him. Not surprised whatsoever. The bond those guys have, he wants to see him have this success. He's back in a Stanley Cup final. We know that he wants to see him get that second cup.
We know he still has game, too. That's the thing. I mean, obviously, the history here with Marchand was one thing, and all the moments you shared, including the cup. But everyone knew there was still so much game left in him. That's what hurt so bad when he goes to that team of all damn teams. And we also, let's be honest, all kind of saw this coming, didn't we? He goes to where? Oh, now you make them even more dangerous, and he's doing exactly what we all thought he would do, balling. He's doing his thing. He's an all-timer. He shows up in the biggest moments, biggest stages, none bigger than a Stanley Cup final, and he's doing what he's doing, and he's having fun. And I really think that's what's being seen here. This is a friend watching another friend in another place have a blast. He's flying around on the ice. He's smiling. He's laughing. He's having so much fun. And that's really what I think's going on here. He's like, my boy's having fun down there. He's about to win a cup.
And it's the fact that we've seen it in 2011 with Marchand. Rookie that season. Played, but sparingly throughout the regular season. Get to the playoffs. 10 goals. One of them is shorthanded. 11 goals in that entire postseason run. Rookie record. Now setting a record, most goals for an active player in Stanley Cup final.
Crazy.
To your point. Big stages, postseason, shows up big every time.
That's right. And this is an undersized guy. Everything's working against him. And yet his whole career, he has been stellar. What's that tell you about the guy? You see what I mean? And so that's what I mean when you hear Bergie say that. That's his boy. Having fun, winning. Of course he has to root for him. You know it burns him to root for the Panthers. So that's why he's like, he didn't even say the name. I'm rooting for Brad.
Yeah, it's tough to, we're not rooting for that team.
I'm rooting
telling my
for
kids.
Brad.
That bond, you can't beat. All right, talk about one guy that made his impressions on Boston as a rookie in Brad Marchand. To Roman Anthony, finally made his Major League debut. Called up, #1 prospect in all of baseball. Goes 0 for 4. Strikeout looking, fly out, line out, drew a walk, had an RBI and a ground out as well. But this is a kid that, we spoke about it, and I think it's funny when we looked at Rafael Devers officially being called DH. It was, hey, patience is a key here. With Roman Anthony, same thing. Patience is a key. Just turned 21 a month ago. Will have a lot of expectations. At #1, will forever be attached to him.
Sure.
But he can't be the savior for this team. It is baseball. You don't make an impact every time the ball is in play. You don't make an impact every time a batter's in the box. It's only when you have your 4 or 5 goes per game.
Sure.
Red Sox fans have to be patient. I'm excited the kid finally has the opportunity. I loved seeing him fail at the Major League level. He's going to fail the next game, the game after that, and throughout his career. I'm excited to see the successes he has now.
Yeah, no doubt. And by the way, I agree with you that he himself can't be the savior, but I do actually subscribe to this youth movement can be the savior. Campbell now, Meyer, right? Anthony, they're all here. How long have we been asking for all three of them to be here?
Yeah.
And they're all here now. So I agree with you about patience. I agree with you about expectations. Let's slow down. But there's a flip side to this coin. While you're being patient, while you're tempering expectations, they could be saviors. Like, the three of them could turn this season around. Like, let's just be honest about that. And if you make a playoff push, which we all believe this team in totality is talented enough to do, George, these three are going to play a major piece in that. So I do think he can be a part of a collective with those three where they are the savior of this season. But also, we need to be careful that if it doesn't happen, it's not the sky is falling. The future is bright regardless now that we have all three of them up. But even the way he pulled up the Fenway, George, did you see the aura on the kid?
Murdered out.
I mean, he pulled up
MX4.
clean. The drip was on point. I don't even think he's walking in this clip. I think the brother is levitating. Look how he stepped out. Look. Man, come on, man. That's drip. Look at them white shoes. Ain't a smudge in sight, Jack. That boy clean, man. The car is clean. He clean. He got cameras all around him. Look at him. Unflappable. Unflappable.
He was ready for the MLB debut. I loved the reaction we saw all over Twitter,
man.
too. I mean,
Aura.
This is the excitement. Finally comes up. You see that from typical Irish Celtics fan. Oh, okay, but sad Boston. What? Oh, my God. All right, not that sad from typical Irish Celtics fan. Here from Chase. If I'm dreaming, let me freaking sleep. I like that one. If I'm dreaming, let me
Don't you
keep
wake me
sleeping.
up.
And from Mark Tillotson, the sound of that dap with Meyer sent chills up my spine. The future is here.
Yes, Lord.
The reunion of him and Marcelo Meyer, two guys that came up through the system together, reunited at the Major League level. And here's it. I agree. It's beautiful.
Look at this.
Roman Anthony hitting 5th. Christian Campbell hit 6th. Marcelo Meyer 7th. The big three hitting 1, 2, 3 in that lineup.
That's what I'm telling you. Those three right there combined could be the saviors.
I mean, and that's the reality of what they are in this system, the position they play, and the potential that they have overall for this team,
That's
too.
right.
Now it's a matter of, and the reason Roman Anthony came up is because Willie Abreu hit the IL. Now it's a matter of what's best for them every day.
Yes.
What do you do with Christian Campbell? Because his bat is still struggling. He's still making some mistakes defensively.
Yeah, he is.
Do you switch him to center field? Do you let him go back down to AAA Worcester and just let him get right?
Yeah.
What do you do with Marcelo Meyer? Because this is still a guy that's only getting 1 or 2 at-bats every game before he's pinch hit for.
Right.
Give him the 4 or 5 full at-bats. Give him that full going a game. Like what we saw for Roman Anthony. Now it's a matter of you can have him hitting 1, 2, 3 in the lineup.
Yes.
But it's like any sport. Who's closing for you? Who's the guy in the big moments that can make the plays?
Right.
What sets those 3 guys up to get that done? And for a long time, be good Major League players.
That's such a beautiful point by you, bro. Don't bring these guys up and baby them, right? Bring them up. If you're bringing them up, let them play. Yeah. Let them cook. I'm with you. That's a great point, actually.
And Alex Cora did that. I mean, Garrett Clevenger gets brought in by Kevin Cash. Lefty on lefty for Roman Anthony.
Let it ride.
And that's out of respect from Cash. Cora could have pinch hit him. No, he said, no, you stay in.
Let it ride.
Sat in 4 pitches, but he saw that nasty sweeper, 97, the 3rd pitch, 80 miles per hour on that 4th.
Right? That's development.
Developing the eye, the feel at the Major League level. We'll take a quick break here on Boston Has Entered the Chat, but when we're back, hear from Mike Vrabel, Drake Maye, Carlton Davis, all on the Patriots right here on the chat. And make sure to get the latest up-to-date live Boston sports headlines, along with your daily dose of trending sports and social topics every weekday on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Catch us live at 8 a.m. on NESN, 9 a.m. on NESN Nation, every Monday through Friday on the chat.
I think it matters if you're a quarterback or a offensive lineman or a running back or defensive back. It's about your ability to reach certain players that maybe, again, we don't want to have any gaps. And so hopefully that you know what to do, that you're prepared, you do things the right way. You're a good listener. I think you can adapt to what happens and adapt to the people that you're talking to, maybe based on what they need. As far as sometimes people need a little different encouraging, and sometimes you need a little bit firmer hand and maybe a little bit more firmer stance. And I think that's all important of understanding and getting to know each person before you can start to lead them.
So that's Mike Vrabel talking about leadership on team. Now, I asked about, hey, what do you see for the leadership from a quarterback? Him himself saying, I don't care if you're a quarterback, lineman, kicker, punter. Yeah. He's listing out everything that goes into being a leader and leads to the success of a team.
Yeah, he's a leader, period. And look, you know, we talk so much about which players will emerge. Like, I've taken shots at Stefon Diggs for sure, and lack of leadership. We believe Drake Maye's taking that next step now, will be more of a leader. And there's other guys on this defense, veterans, who are leaders that were already leaders before Vrabel got here. But there's no question now, especially now that we felt the opposite side from a head coach, where it's like you say one thing in the media one day, you walk it back the next. There's no accountability.
We've seen that before.
There's no. So we felt that around here, right?
Yeah.
Now this is what leadership looks like from a head coach position, and that's what Mike Vrabel embodies, George.
I love his no gaps, prepared, knowing what everyone does.
Yes.
Now, he's saying that goes for any player, but that is what you expect of a quarterback. And he's challenged Drake Maye. Even throughout the short stint of we've seen of voluntary workouts, putting them in a setting where you have to be the leader.
That's right.
At the end of practice, doing sprints, what are they going on? Not a whistle on Drake Maye's cadence. Making sure everyone sideline to sideline can hear him. Everyone gets used to that voice being the voice that guides this team.
Yep.
Mike Vrabel has the expectations, and he's putting it on a second-year quarterback, and that's what you have to challenge him with and do. So here's now from Carlton Davis. Big free agency signing, cornerback 2 for the Patriots.
Yeah.
Talking about the culture that Mike Vrabel is building and instilling for the Patriots.
Yeah, no, I think it's going great. You know, he's big on players connecting with players and players connecting with coaches, and I feel like he's doing a great job instilling that here each day. I feel like as we continue to stack days out here, we're also getting closer in the locker room and also in the meetings. And the closer you are with everybody you go to work with, the harder you're going to play for him. So I think he's doing a great job in that aspect.
Sorry, not Carlton Davis. That one's Harold Landry, defensive end for the Patriots. But hear him talking about the team and everything that's going on around there. That's from a vet. That's a guy that's been under Mike Vrabel. That's a guy that's been in the league a long time. That's big.
Yeah, it is. And by the way, Vrabel did a great job of sort of bringing his guys here with him, too. I remember us talking about that all offseason of Vrabel's going to go out. There are some free agents here. He's going to go out and bring guys here. We knew it was coming. He did, and it was smart. And we knew that from the beginning. Bring guys in who already know your culture, already know your expectations, already know your leadership style. Not that it can't evolve, not that you can't become more of a leader, Mike Vrabel. Coaches can improve too, right, George? So, and he talks about that, his evolution, and how he's a better leader now than he was in Tennessee, for example, as a head coach. So bringing players who sort of get it and know what you're looking for, that only helps you implement that through the rest of the team. Genius move by Braves.
No, 100%. Now here it was Drake Maye talking about his locker mate, Stefon Diggs, being right next to him, but everything that he has meant to this team so far. Check it out.
He's my next door to my locker mate, so he's one down from beside me. We talk all the time. He's a veteran in this league. He's made a lot of plays, played in a lot of big-time games. So just an awesome voice for the receiver room for this offense. He's played some playoff games. He's had some big games, and I think once he kind of recovers and he's getting back out there, I'm looking forward to be able to throw him footballs, and just it's always good having a guy like that in your team.
Voice, experience. That's what Drake Maye's pointing out about Stefon Diggs. That's what makes him important. And it gets to the point, too, where it's time to turn the page. What happened on that boat? What happened Memorial Day weekend? That happened. But Stefon Diggs now at mandatory minicamp, at mandatory workouts for the team.
Yeah.
When everyone needs to be there, being that voice in the locker room, guiding these young receivers, helping out this young quarterback, bringing his experience and pouring it into the younger guys on this roster. This is what Stefon Diggs was brought in for. This is what's time to pay attention to. What happened, happened. Now, if Stefon Diggs gets right and is right every step of the way moving forward, awesome. He made a mistake, but what has Mike Vrabel been about since he got here? Everyone's getting a fresh start. I don't care where you're drafted, where you're signed to. My guy, a guy from the previous tenure, everyone gets a fresh start. It's good to hear Stefon Diggs doing the little things behind the scenes, no cameras, of what you want from a leader.
Yeah, I also think there's other ways to lead, too. Like, one of the reasons I've been very critical of Stefon Diggs is because the way he was paid.
Yeah.
Sure, you're wide receiver 1, but they're also paying you to be a leader with all these young receivers they have that haven't done a damn thing since they've been here. So, what happened on that Love boat, to me, just said that this guy isn't a leader. However, to your point, and what Drake Maye is talking about, the work ethic. No one's ever questioned that with Stefon Diggs. He is a hard worker. It's there. So just lead that way. Just show me. If I'm Drake Maye, show me how to be a pro. Show me what you do. Show me how to be here day in, day out, doing the little things, the details, the treatment. Drake Maye may deal with injuries as his career goes on. How do you recover from this? How are you able to bounce back from that? You can take things from Stefon Diggs that aren't necessarily philosophical life advice things. You may not want to do that. But at the same time, as it pertains to football, there's a lot to gain from a Stefon Diggs. So them being locker neighbors is great news for Drake Maye and Stefon Diggs, quite frankly.
And here's Drake Maye again talking at practice about the pressure it takes to execute in Boston and how that fuels him day to day. Here it is.
The Patriots are used to winning, and that's what we're trying to get back to. I think you want people to expect you to play good, and I think that pressure is kind of what fuels you to be out here. What fuels you to get the rep right in practice. What fuels you to work hard in the meetings or work hard in the weight room, or kind of not what happened last year happen again.
That's big.
He has so much all shucks to him, doesn't he? He really does. Every time I hear Drake Maye, I'm like, he's just adorbs. It's just so much all words.
Adorbs.
He's adorbs. We're just happy to be out here, man. I just love Coach. He talks all that. I just love Coach Rainbow to Stefon Diggs. Man, he is just 100 miles per hour. Happy to be there. There's a lot of all shucks with him. I dig it.
You either get the slow-paced Will Campbell from the South, or you get the fast-talking Drake Maye from South North Carolina.
Yeah.
Here's more all shucks from Drake Maye. You'll like this. Here's him talking about the standard that Mike Vrabel sets and how much he loves it.
I think that's something that I think is needed. I think Coach Vrabel's kind of set that tone when he came in here and got hired of, hey, if you're not doing the right thing repeated times, there's going to be some consequences. And I think that's something we need to establish. And I think it's something that, me growing up with 3 older brothers and around older people my whole life, I've kind of been comfortable. And kind of once I got acclimated, which I feel like I definitely am now, to kind of step into that zone. And, hey, I think especially for offensively, if somebody's not doing their job, and it starts with me, I got to do mine first. But if somebody's not doing their job and repeated mistakes, I think there got to be a consequence. And I think at some point it hurts the football team, and I think it hurts everybody in that building.
Love that. See, that's part of what makes Drake Maye and gives him the potential to be so great.
Yep.
He mentioned it, his upbringing, being the youngest of all his brothers who executed at a high level in college sports at one point or another. His dad, who played college football at UNC as well, where he's saying, look, man, consequences matter. Accountability matters. Mike Vrabel always talks about accountability. But he said for him, one thing that he's never struggled with is getting acclimated to be that voice, to call guys out. But it is if I'm not doing right, then who am I? He holds himself accountable first before he would hold his teammates accountable. That's what you need from your leader of the team and the face of the franchise.
I'm not going to lie, bro. I think it's because you and I just did this exercise. But Drake Maye's already top 10 quarterback in the AFC. I don't think anyone can really argue that. Now, you may argue where he is in that top 10, but he's top 10 right now in the AFC, I'm just saying. I mean, George, if this guy can take that next step, because the leadership's there. We hear it at the podium since he's been here. Yeah. Even as a rookie, he was talking like this. This isn't like a year 2 Drake Maye, new look Drake Maye. No, like this dude's been poised since he arrived, okay? Yeah. If he can take the step on the field now to become top 15 NFL quarterback, which I think is realistic, it might be towards the back end. It might be 11, 12, 13 range. But if he can get in there, George, this team's going to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
And I feel so confident saying that. Like, he has so much potential. He is so poised. He's such a natural leader. I laugh at it, but that all shucks stuff works because it's authentic. That's who he is.
Yeah.
Guys love that. He's not pretending to be something he's not. I think Drake Maye has an opportunity here this year. I ain't talking 3, 4, 5 years from now. Right now, brother, if he can get close to that top 15 in this league of quarterback, I think this team will reap the benefits, and they'll be a playoff team.
We get the all shucks Drake Maye. I would love to see the Drake Maye behind closed doors. Drake Maye in meeting rooms, in locker rooms, in huddles, in games, when everything is heightened. The intensity is there. The moment is there. And you have to be that dog because he has that in him. So, yeah, we see the all shucks Drake Maye, which I love. But this is a guy that you see what he does on the field. You see how he's spoken about by his teammates.
Yeah.
It's all shucks in the media. It's all work when it comes for him getting between the lines.
Tom was like that, but Tom didn't have all shucks. He didn't have that country drawl. He was just very corporate, right? He almost spoke
Fire
like a
was
CEO.
always there.
He spoke like a CEO. Peyton Manning, same thing. A lot of the greats have that.
Yeah.
And then out on the field, it's psycho, right?
Yep.
So to your point, yeah, I mean, at the podium, it's all shucks. And then out on the field, you got to be a killer because we've seen that too. And that will continue to develop with Drake Maye.
And that's a big part for him. That's what they need from him. And you point out, if he's top 10, they're in the playoffs. If him, Josh McDaniels, and this offensive line clicks, then they are in the playoffs, no doubt about it. It's how their schedule falls together. It's how talented this defense is. It's the upgrade you get in the guy running the team and the new head coach in Mike Vrabel. And it's a talent we see on the field. Again, this is a team. They won 4 games each of the last 2 seasons. And the product on the football field was laughable. It wasn't an NFL team we were seeing out there. It was awful. But you bring in a Mike Vrabel that gets you back to being respectful and respectable as a ball club on the field. You get a Drake Maye with a Josh McDaniels. That's a guy that can tap into his strengths and his talents. It's everything coming together. I think we see a big bounce back and a big second year from Drake Maye, but also this team getting back to being respectable.
I do as well. I'm thinking about that draft class. Caleb Williams has an opportunity this season to take the next step. Drake Maye has an opportunity this season to take a next step. Jaden Daniels has already taken the first step and a giant leap for mankind, okay? He feels like he's there. Bo Nix is probably as good as he is going to be, but he's in a system where, great, give me 10 years of what you just did. And I think Bo Nix can do that, right? I think that's fair. Penix, we'll see. But he looked pretty good. And then McCarthy's coming off an injury, but all the reports so far are that it's A-OK. We'll see. So this entire draft class, low-key, bro, has a chance to be an all-timer. And Drake Maye is going to be a big part of that.
It's also all their situations, too.
Yeah.
You have guys that succeed in the NFL in spite of their surroundings. You have guys that succeed because of their surroundings. I think that's a J.J. McCarthy and a Bo Nix and a Michael Penix.
Well said.
But given their situations, Caleb Williams with Ben Johnson and that offensive talent and his ability. Jaden Daniels, his ability with Cliff Kingsbury. Drake Maye, his ability with Josh McDaniels. Bo Nix with Sean Payton. Michael Penix with all that talent in Atlanta in a good system.
And a bad division.
And J.J. McCarthy with Kevin O'Connell.
Right.
That all matters.
That's a good point.
So it's
Justin
beyond.
Jefferson doesn't hurt either.
You saw what Sam Darnold did.
Yeah.
And he has zero mental toughness.
That's right.
J.J. McCarthy won a national championship. People can argue how he did it. But it's these draft picks and where they ended up.
Yeah.
And the guys around him. It's their situation. It's football. You need 11 guys on the field to be on the same page.
Scary hours are to think that Drake Maye could be better than all of them because he has that potential.
1,000%.
He has the potential.
1,000% in his ability. And there are a lot of guys in this draft class that could be top 3, top 5 in the league one day.
Absolutely.
And Drake Maye.
He's one of them.
Take comparison away, but he's a guy that will be a franchise quarterback and a reason because of Drake Maye they have the success. Not in spite of Drake Maye. The team has success. I think that's what's big about him.
Come on, McDaniels. Open up that playbook, baby. Let's see it. I want to see some. Let's get a little wiggle. My man got a little wiggle to him. Let's get him on some runs, some design runs.
I hope the wiggle is better than that.
Break him down to pad level.
We'll take a break here on Boston is Angry in the chat. But hey, when we're back, we'll be talking Red Sox. Roman Anthony, his debut, what we saw from the team last night, but also what we saw from the rookie, and some key performances like Brian Bale. That's after the break, right here on Boston is Enter the Chat, which you can catch every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nesson, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Nesson Nation. All the discussions around Boston sports and sports around the country every Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Boston is Enter the Chat. Welcome back to Boston is Enter the Chat. George Balekji, Travis Thomas here. T, let's get into it, man.
Come on.
Roman Anthony makes the Red Sox debut, long-awaited, number one prospect in all of baseball, not just in their farm system. And for a team that was 32-35 heading into last night, hosting the Rays for 3 games, Yankees for 3 games after that, both at Fenway. There was still the shouts, right? It started with whispers, it started with questions, then it was shouts and slamming your fist on the table. When is Roman Anthony coming up? Because there had to be something to do with this lineup. The bats have picked up, but it had to be better, had to be more consistent all throughout. Finally made his debut, so let's start there. Now he goes 0 for 4, drew a walk, struck out looking, flew out, lined out, grounded out as well, but also had an RBI in this game too. This is a guy that highly anticipated, hit 5th in his major league debut. After all this time being said, well, he's not ready yet, 5th in your major league debut. And we know the pressure that will be there for a guy like him with the hype he has, the expectations he has on himself. he's not going to be the savior for the Red Sox. As a team, they need to help themselves, but it was important for the Sox to finally call him up. Now, it was due to a Willie Abreu injury, but give him the opportunity, learn at the major league level, and now we're going to see Marcelo Meyer, Christian Campbell, Roman Anthony, the big three together, develop together.
That's a key. Did you mention his error in the field? Because that's where I want to
He had his error in the 5th inning as well, and
that looked like nerves, George.
It was nerves. He rushed, but he never centered himself to that ground ball that was in the right field. That's fundamentals. Why are you reaching over your left leg with your glove? Yeah. Why would you do that when you know from the Little League level, get in front of a ground ball, 2 hands down. It's Major League level, you put 1 hand down. And that's where we've seen Ceddanne Rafaela make the same mental errors at center field. Skipping the cutoff, shooting at home.
Yes.
We've seen guys not know where to go when they could turn a double play or get it out and keep it smart. And then we see that goes into some of the frustration we've felt with this team. We see with this team. Lou Merloni on 3-10 to left went off about it. What are they doing down in Worcester, where he also had that error in the 5th? He fielded a ground ball similarly. And I remember watching going, you got to get in front of that.
Iffy.
But he got it done.
Right.
So he has that error in right. After the game, took accountability. He has to be better, especially with runs scoring on that error.
Yeah.
This is a team, again, we talk margins. Brendan Bernardino, he had that wild pitch that got by. He had that throwing error to second. When you look at Roman Anthony, error in right, Bernardino, what he was doing on the mound, literally throwing runs away, and they lose 10-8 in the 11th inning.
That's just...
It's the story of this team. They still have to clean it up.
But there's so much fight in the team. Going back to Anthony, Anthony's debut almost helped quell the loss in a way, because it was a typical Red Sox loss of they battle back. This team has so much fight. Go to extras, and then you blow it, right? It happens. Here's the thing I'm thinking, though. I'm looking ahead. Yes, we're talking Anthony. Yes, he's up. Yes, I'm happy that Anthony, Meyer, and Campbell are all here getting big league experience. All good. But we still have a playoff push to focus on here, and I need these young kids to help us out to get there, right? So I'm looking at this now. Yes, this team shows a lot of fight, showed it last night, as they have all season in these close 1-run and more losses. But honestly, Buehler, I need Giolito. We have fighters here who have to start throwing punches, because you can't lose this series to the Rays. You get all this momentum from this Yankees series in the Bronx. You come back home, game 1, you lose it. Come on now. So Buehler has to pitch better. Giolito has to pitch better. If they can, this team can still win this series. That's what I need to see for the next 2 games. I just hope they can, because the last time out, it didn't look great.
Brian Bayo, 6 1/3 innings pitch, 3 earned runs, had 4 Ks, but pitched well. Pitch count wasn't up there either, but pulled after throwing 82. Again, you allow 3 earned runs, then Bernardino gets on the mound and records 1 out, allows 2 runs. And the wild pitch was no chance. The opposite batter's box behind the batter. If there was a righty up, it would have been behind his back. What is happening there?
Yeah.
And there's absolutely flubs a throw to second, trying to pick off a runner as well. The mistakes by him were inexcusable. And that's where, again, you get out of a situation, your starting pitcher, which they needed, gets you a quality start, only 3 earned runs, may not get the win, but at least gets a job to set up the bullpen for success.
That's right.
Falter that way. That's where the struggles are with this team. And even go into the extra innings. Zach Kelly just missing with the bases loaded on his location on the pitch. Good framing by Connor Wong. Walks in what would be the game-winning run. That's when the Rays take the 9-8 lead. It's margins. It's inches. It's the details for this Red Sox team that keeps them, instead of being 33-34 and 35, and 2 games away from 500, 32-36, and always just looking far up.
Yet, despite all of this, my friend, that we're talking about, the mistakes, the errors, the late game follies, if you will. Giolito, we just talked about, not a great outing the last time we saw him. Sox not great at Fenway. All the things we're saying, all the young kids up learning their way. I'm looking right now, because it always comes back to gambling for me, George. Even odds right now for the game tonight. Even odds. So even Vegas is the Red Sox drive you crazy, but the talent is there. They could win this game. Even odds. So I do believe that tonight we will get a better Giolito. God help us. And same with Buehler, too, who I have more confidence in.
Yeah.
But I am looking at the series. I cannot take my eyes off the ball for these next 5 games now. We talked about next 6 yesterday, or yesterday we were talking about that, but now it's the next 5. You have 2 more against the Rays, and then here come the Yankees. It's just no time. There's no rest for the weary here. I know we're all in love with Roman Anthony being here with the big leaguers, great, but you got to stay the course too. And if you fall to the Rays, you get swept, or they take 2 out of 3, it's not helping you get to where you need to get. And so even with Anthony coming up and all the excitement, this team has to lock in and focus and start winning games at Fenway. This is another thing I keep bringing up to you that's driving me nuts. I don't know what it is. Why can't you win at home? Let's start tonight. Giolito must pitch better than he did last time, and for the Sox to even have a shot.
And this is a team that we're seeing Trevor Story get on a hot streak now.
Yeah.
7 RBIs, 7 hits, his last 3 games. When a guy like that is finally pulling through and hitting where he is in that 4th spot in your lineup.
Got to have support.
Exactly. And we've seen it from the back end of the lineup, but that's where it has to all tie together. What I did like in Roman Anthony's debut is we see Kevin Cash put in a lefty reliever to match up with Roman Anthony.
Yeah.
That's out of respect. And Alex Cora kept him in. And you know what he's doing there? Learn.
Yes.
Learn at the MLB level. Fail at the MLB level. Now, he sat him down to 4 pitches. He saw a nasty sweeper to strike him out looking. Hey, that's the difference between AAA and MLB stuff.
Man.
And he still looked poised in the batter's box.
Yeah.
Made good contact as well. Drew a walk. This is a kid that's going. Development today in Major League Baseball isn't how we grew up.
Right.
It's not failing at the minor league level, playing 300 games, and then coming up to Major League Baseball. It's now failing at the Major League level. And it goes back to what we said before. Red Sox fans, the team, everybody involved. Roman Anthony with himself, give grace, give patience, and understanding. This kid won't save the team alone. The team as a whole is the only thing that can save themselves. And it's whether hitting 1 through 9 in the lineup, it's a relief pitchers coming in after the starters, not making errors in the field and throwing wild pitches. It's a team as a whole that can get them back to 500 and above it. I'm excited to see what Roman Anthony does when he'll fail in Game 2, fail in Game 3. But then the successes will grow on top of that. That's what I'm excited to see with this kid. I give credit to Alex Cora, giving him all the at-bats, giving him all the exposure and all the reps to grow at this level. That's what you have to do. You're going to call him up. He needs to get the full serving, baptism by the fire.
That's what it is.
And that's what the Red Sox and Alex Cora are doing.
I think that's well said. It is baptism by fire because the best players, and I appreciate you bringing up how it's changed too over time, because when we were kids, you were in the minors a long time.
Yeah.
But now, yes, it is baptism by fire, but the best players who respond to it, who grow quickly, and who make an impact. I always tell you the story. Covering Juan Soto earlier in his career, that's a guy who came in and was in big moments in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Big moments in the World Series, George, as a kid. And he stepped up, handled the spotlight, and the rest is history with Juan Soto's career, right? So I look at this as the best players almost really have a swag or a unshakable confidence to them that even when they struggle, because they will, and usually, to your point, it's out of the gate. Because you have to get used to the speed and the differences of the big leagues and the minors. Yeah. But they're unshakable. They're unflappable. So by the time they say, okay, I got this timing now, I figured this out now, boom, they can make it happen. Whereas if you're the kind of player that the moment is too big, the stage is too big, the lights are too bright, it can mess with your head. It can mess with your confidence. I get none of that from Roman Anthony at all. Marcelo Meyer either, to be fair. Those guys feel like baptism by fire is just fine to them, and we just have to wait for them to come out of it.
Roman Anthony turned 21 a month ago.
It's insane.
And the least amount of reps he's gotten defensively was in right field, and he made his debut. Misty night, tough elements. He's not going to use that as an excuse in right field. Now here's the next lever. What does Alex Cora do? Do you keep Roman Anthony in right? Is that where you envision him? Do you move Ceddanne Rafaela into right field, Jarren Duran into center, and Roman Anthony into left where he was playing at the AAA level?
Can I interject? I think you should move all these kids around. Here's why. We've already, I'm not even going to say any names, we've already experienced some things where I don't play that. I don't want to go to that position. No. Let's set the tone now with all these guys. We'll interchange you wherever we want in this lineup and make that normal. Normalize that.
You've seen that with Christian Campbell playing games in center. I mean, Marcelo Meyer's playing out of position. He's a shortstop. He's playing third. And
Keep that consistent.
And you hear no quibbles with him from that as well.
Do it with
Roman Anthony made his major league debut out of position. So you're right to see that buy-in. You see, even guys like Abraham Toro, playing out of position. Romy Gonzalez, a ball player, playing first.
That's what I'm saying.
The buy-in for the team.
That should be the standard. We will move you wherever we can help the team.
And again, this is a guy that just turned 21. Aaron Judge, when he made his MLB debut, was 24 years old, and it wasn't until the end of that Yankees season. 24 years old, over 350 minor league games under his belt. Roman Anthony just eclipsed 300 games in his minor league experience. But again, this is a kid, 21 versus 24. The strength, the maturity, the mental makeup, everything is different. In those 3-year difference, I give a lot of credit. Again, Roman Anthony looked good in the box, good eye on the ball. And you know what? He's going to fail a lot. It's patience has to be from Red Sox.
Much like a young Aaron Judge, Roman Anthony can hit a baseball over those mountains. We saw it.
Look, man, if he's good, if he's great, it doesn't have to be all world.
That's right.
Then that's a win for the Red Sox.
Amen.
The kid's just 21. Patience matters. Baptism by the fire. We'll take another break here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. When we're back, we'll be talking some Bruins fans.
Yeah.
What's annoying in hockey? Pete Blackburn shares it with us on that one. And hey, make sure to stay and get the latest up-to-date live Boston sports headlines, along with your daily dose of trending sports and social topics every weekday on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Catch us live at 8 a.m. on NESN and 9 a.m. on NESN Nation every Monday through Friday. What's up? Welcome back into Boston Has Entered the Chat. You see that spoke
I
beat
love that shot.
right over my man Travis Thomas's shoulders.
Beautiful
So big day
work.
today for the Boston Bruins. At 11 a.m., they'll be introducing the 30th head coach in franchise history, Marco Sturm. You can catch it live here on NESN. You can catch it on NESN's YouTube page as well.
Nice.
Big day for the Bees. And for Marco Sturm, a guy that played here for 5 years, knows Boston, knows the fan base.
Yeah.
Well, there were polls that came out. Boston Bruins fans tabbed as the most annoying in the NHL.
Hell no.
Pete Blackburn was on the Hockey Hub with Sophia Yurkevich and Adam Pellerin. Asked about this. Here is what Pete Blackburn of What Chaos had to say.
I would disagree with that, being somebody who deals with 32 fan bases on a daily basis. Maybe it's because Bruins fans are like, they're my own, so I don't consider them annoying a lot of the time. Sometimes I do. But to that, my like ultimate genuine reaction is good. Like,
yes.
I want us to be considered the most obnoxious and the most annoying and in your face. Like, good. Be worse. Be worse. Be kind. Don't be nasty. Don't be like a disgrace. Don't reflect poorly on the logo. But be annoying. Be obnoxious. Good. Be loud and keep it going. Make sure that it is next year when they do this vote. Make sure it's even more distance between first and second place.
Okay, I get what he's saying there. I don't consider Bruins fans annoying at all.
No.
I mean, I covered against the Bruins for a long time, and I never considered them annoying, the fan base. I consider them smart.
Yes.
You know, my first week here, did I ever tell you this? My first week here, I tried to take the tee. I didn't make that mistake ever again. Yeah. And I was on the tee, and I was sitting behind a couple, but it didn't feel like a couple. It felt like kind of a first or second date. Mm-hmm. So, of course, I eavesdropped. I turned off my headphones. I kind of like leaned a little bit forward, just trying to hear the combo. I promise you, I did pick up, I don't know if it was a first date, but it was early in some sort of relationship being budded here, right?
Yeah.
They were talking about like deep Bruins, deep cuts. Not Pasta's a great player, is he? No, like what was he thinking on the third line shift? And I'm like, whoa, this is Boston.
Yep.
These are Bruins fans. Like I always thought of Boston fans in general for every sport as very smart, intelligent. Now that I'm here, I see it's true. But it's just like a cerebral sort of thing. I don't see it as annoying. I made my own damn list we can get to of my own interactions of annoying fans because Bruins ain't even in the top 5, dog. I just did 5 off top of my dome, and I have a whole lot of fan bases way more annoying than Bruins.
I listed one.
Just one?
The Flyers.
Well, Philly, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, they're in my.
It's every sport you're in. What Phillies fans are.
Yes.
That's not obnoxious. Like the biggest a-holes in all sports fan bases possible.
I guess we should define annoying or obnoxious, right?
Obnoxious I think obnoxious is delusional. Out of touch with what your team is, how good they are, the success they have.
So Cowboys, like Lakers, like that, Duke,
Canadians.
those losers, Canadian. All right, let me give you my 5. Ready?
Let me hear.
In order. Leafs. You know why?
Okay.
Because hockey is the air that Leafs fans breathe, right? Started here. They are quick to tell you all the history. They never win anything, ever. Yet they always believe they're going to. So they're number one. Flyers, I have 2 because of Philly.
Nice.
You named it. That's any sport across the board. Philly, you're on this list. 3, I have Canadians. Now, those fans are literally, by definition, annoying. They just get on my damn nerves. The habitants.
Last year one was 92. They won all the time.
Yeah, but
in the 60s, 70s, 80s.
That's a long time ago.
Last time you won
ago,
is 92.
Jack. That's a long time ago, Jack. Then I have Rangers fans, and I don't think Rangers fans are annoying. It's more of the New York arrogance, annoyingness
100%.
that I don't like. Every year, Rangers are going to win it if you let a Rangers fan tell it, except they don't win either. Okay, thanks. And then last, I have Panthers. Here's why. The Panthers were always respectable, but they feel so new money to me. And also, no one even gives a rat's patootie about you in your own hood. So how dare you go around to every city talking about how great you are, and you are great. Your team is no joke. You have a dynasty. I bow down. But no one cares about you in your own backyard.
Yes.
So I don't want to hear it. They feel like new money. Bruins are old colonial money. You know what I mean? They've been around. It's royalty. The Panthers feel like, we just got rich off crypto and bought a Benz. I don't respect that. Get out of here.
The Panthers are the most forgettable franchise in all pro sports, in my opinion.
Damn.
Great 3-year run. But if there's one you forget exists, it is the Florida Panthers.
You ain't have to go there.
You go through all the leagues, you're like, oh, yeah, there's the Florida Panthers. Like, there's a Tampa Bay Lightning. Everyone knows the Lightning exists. You're like, oh, yeah, the Panthers play hockey, too. That's a team that exists.
Was savage,
You have, like, the Atlanta Hawks and the Florida Panthers. That's how it goes. And that's how it is. I just put the Flyers as 1 because when you're obnoxious,
Philly.
it is to the point where how out of touch you are. And also, it's all of Philly, too.
Yeah.
Look, they're rabid.
Yeah.
It's the hardest road games you'll play.
Yes.
They're insane.
I respect them.
But Flyers fans,
they're annoying.
Yes.
Yes.
I just think of, even you go back to, you want to talk obnoxious. Look, Cutter Gauthier did not want to play for the Philadelphia Flyers. Yeah. And that's fine. He demanded a trade, ended up with the Ducks. Like, good luck. I don't know if Anaheim's any better, especially after the head coach hire they made.
Sure.
We had Flyers fans showing up to BC games with signs chirping the kid and crossing the line as well. Look, he's young. You know what? I blame that on his advisory to demand the trade before he even get into the league. But it gets to that point where there's that line. I love what Pete Blackburn pointed out. Be good, be fair, be respectful, but be worse. Be more obnoxious. Be annoying. I love that.
Yeah.
Be proud. But there's a line that you cross. Flyers, it's Phillies fans in general. They always find that line. They don't step it. They cross it, jump over it, and never go back.
I'm writing down fans that I actually like. So outside of Bruins, I've had really good interactions. I like Blackhawks fans. I think Chicago fans in general, like Bears fans, Bulls, a lot of those fans are realistic. That's what I like about Chicago fans in general. So it's probably why I like Blackhawks fans. Islanders fans, ironically, like, they don't have the arrogance as a Ranger, as Rangers fans, but, like, you can still talk hockey with them, and they know their team kind of sucks and underachieves, and they own that. They're angry.
There's that layer of embracing that you live on Long Island, where it's like no one wants to live there. Like
that's the anger.
They're like, Long Island is the weirdest place on earth. Like, it's in New York and it's just after Jersey, but I swear to God, it's its own part of the country.
Okay, so then that makes sense.
If you dropped Long Island in the middle of Tennessee, it would fit in, just really different accents.
Well, that's why I like, their fans are very realistic about their teams, but they have a tinge of anger, which I always enjoy.
They got that chip to them.
I like Lightning fans because, unlike the Panther fans, the Lightning fans acted like they belonged. There was no new money feel when the Lightning were winning cups. It was like, it was almost a we belong here kind of feel with their fans. Like, we've been telling you, we've been coming, now we're here, we're in a dynasty, we've arrived. I respect that. Panthers fans are the ones that don't know how to act. And then Penguins fans. I love Penguins fans, bro. Like, I almost feel like I came up in that sort of ecosystem because of that Caps-Penguins rivalry for so long. Yeah. Penguins fans, I always respected, too. I think
something
Pittsburgh's
with the Yinzers.
I think maybe. Pittsburgh's also a good sports town, so maybe that's why. But I think Penguins fans are cool. But, yeah, all the rest of these, I mean, I could have a sandwich. All these fans annoy me outside of the ones I just named. And Bruins are at the top of being the best.
I could see Rangers fans being up there for sure.
It's just arrogance.
And it is. When they're doing good, it's like, we're back. Let's go Rangers. Like, just wait for the shoe to drop.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it happens every year with the blue shirts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
and
the arrogance.
Yes, just always going, acting like they're the ish. It don't stink. It does. It does in New York. It does at MSG. Again, a team that hasn't won for a very long time.
And they've been mad talented, bro. They've been talented now for 10 years, it feels like, and they still haven't won it.
King Henrik, now Igor Shesterkin, and neither may get a cup. Indictment on that franchise. I understand why the fan base has that confidence. But again, it's the obnoxious annoyance that follows it. That's where you lose.
Lundqvist never got a cup. It's just insane to me. That doesn't even make sense.
Bobrovsky could get his second.
Yeah.
Or Skinner can get his first.
Yeah.
It's about how you know how to protect your goalie. That's a key in it all.
Facts.
He's Travis Thomas. I'm George Balekji. This will wrap it up for us here on Nesson on Boston has entered the chat. Catch us hour 2 on Nesson Nation. But hey, also make sure to tune in to Nesson 11 a.m. today. Marco Sturm introductory press conference as head coach of the Bruins. See you guys there. It'll also be live on Nesson's YouTube page as well. We'll take a quick break. When we're back, we'll get into what's trending around Boston and all the sports. And also, make sure every Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., catch a chat on Nesson and 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Nesson Nations every Monday through Friday with the latest in sports headlines, culture, everything you guys are talking about right here on Boston has entered the chat.